Okay, now up to this point, you've seen the purchase side of the transaction. Now we're going to go into logistics, we're going to go into pick lots, and we're going to do the sales side of the transaction. So this is very simple as well. I basically go into the actual system, and I'm going to pick my customer that actually purchased the goods, which was BAJ Investments. We're going to go ahead and pick the warehouse. Remember, we put it away to the Dupe storage in Miami. Now we have a lot of orders in storage there. I'm going to go ahead and find my allocation, and that's going to be contract 2733. I'm going to go ahead and pick it. Now, if you remember in prior videos, we've actually allocated contract 2733 to a lot. So here's that automatic lot allocation that gets done. So now at this point, I'm just going to match those up. And at this point, we're going to hit the pick. And so at that point, that's going to go ahead and select the lots and update the lots to that shipment. You can go ahead and save that particular pick lots transaction, and you're set to go. Okay, so now after I've picked, I'm going to go ahead and create the delivery order for the transaction. So basically what we've got here is I'm going to go here and I'm going to say I'm going to do a shipment, and it's going to be an outbound shipment, and the type is going to be picked orders, and it's going to be on a truck. And then once that's done, I should be able to see the add orders, and here is where I can select the orders that we've processed already to this point, this pick order. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and as you'll note, we've done the allocation, so the lot number is going to come up, the customer is going to come up. We're all pretty much set to go. So at that point, I'm going to go ahead and save the transaction. Everything's square, it gets a load number. I'm going to go ahead and post that transaction. And now the transaction is ready for final, that's the final shipment, so we're ready for invoicing. All right, so from here, I can print my delivery order if I wanted, or I can go directly to invoice. I'm going to go ahead and go to invoice. That's going to create the invoice for myself, and I'm going to say, yes, I do want to create the invoice. It's going to take all the information I've compiled to date, compile it into an invoice, and create an invoice to my customer. So from there, I can go ahead and save, and I can get a warning here on the credit limit, because this is basically integrated system into our AR. Now this person's exceeded the credit limit, so I can put a stop, I can get an approval, I can get that process flow going. And from that point, if I don't want to do that, I can go ahead and do a post. If I have permissions to override the credit limit, it says, do I want to apply any prepaids on this invoice? I'm going to go ahead and say no, and I'm going to go ahead and post the invoice. So at that point, we have an invoice that we can email or print and give to the customer. And that pretty much has completed the cycle. Now in the next part, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and receive cash against that transaction. And this is the invoice coming up, and this is going to show you where the actual invoice prints and all the details of the invoice. And again, these invoices can be custom formatted for your liking. Okay, so from printing the invoice, now we're going to receive cash. So basically the cash, the invoice is going to sit out there until cash is received. So I'm going to go ahead into sales, and then I'm going to go into receive payment details. And this allows me to receive payments from my customers. So I'm going to have a check now from Baj. I'm going to create a new payment, and I'm going to say BAJ, Baj Investments. They're going to give me a payment. It's going to show all my open invoices. I'm going to pick the invoice for which I have a particular amount due. I'm going to pick the bank account that I'm depositing this into. I'm going to pick their payment method, which is check, and I'm going to put in a check number. At that point, I can pick the actual invoice that they're going to pay. It's double clicked, it's selected. I'm going to go ahead and save, and I'm going to go ahead and post that invoice. And much like in the accounts payable process, that's going to put it into an uncleared deposit that needs to be posted against the cash account. So I'm going to go ahead into cash management now, and I'm going to make a bank deposit, and I'm going to create a new deposit into my cash account. And I'm going to look for undeposited funds, which are funds that actually came in, but actually have not yet hit the bank, because it's just it's just a recording of customer cash in. I'm going to go ahead and select my transaction for Baj. I'm going to say OK. That's going to bring the transaction up, and I'm going to post it. And again, this is going to take it out of purchase clearing and put it in the bank deposit. Now when I go into bank reconciliation, I will see that transaction there, which pretty much closes the loop on the financial transaction. You'll note, see it says outstanding, and I could clear that. And at that point, I've closed AR and AP. I hope you had fun on this tour, and look for future videos. Thank you very much.